Before we get started, I just want to take the time to thank Team S.E.R.T for inviting me to come out and do this investigation with them. Without them, this investigation would have never happened. They were so gracious enough to invite me to come out and do this location, and I appreciate it so much. They are so lovely. It's a husband and wife team. They're so great, so professional, that they're so knowledgeable. Go give them some love for spreading the joy of the paranormal with me. You can follow them on YouTube at Team S.E.R.T, or you can follow them on Instagram at Team S.E.R.T as well.
Welcome to Ashmore Estates. I am Sue. I am the caretaker here. I do live on the property. I have been with the building for 7 years now. Ashmore Estates originally started out as the Coles County Poor Farm. We were a poor farm from 1870 to 1959. Basically, poor farm is the earliest form of welfare. If you owed any kind of debts to society, you got sent here. You could be a widow with young children who couldn't keep the farm. Not only that kind of debt, but sometimes this was used for prisoners. Their way to work off their sentence. Send them out to the poor farm. If you were developmentally disabled, your family could send you to the poor farm. If you were a young child, teenager, who your parents thought were just lazy, didn't do anything at home, you could be sent to the poor farm. So keep in mind as you're investigating the possibility of some dark history in the building. A lot of this sadly was never documented because this was the county's unwanted people out here. So you had young women and children mixed in with hardened criminals. In 1959, what we now know as the current welfare system came into play. So all the poor farms throughout the state were shut down, land was divided off and sold, and then the buildings were sold. So in the early 60s, the building was purchased and became a private psychiatric hospital. We ran as both a private hospital and a state-run hospital from the 60s up through the mid-70s. Now, that is where the name Ashmore Estates came in, and it stuck with the building for the rest of our lives. So then in the mid-70s, the building was expanded. We've kind of got the big square block that's on the back end. That was put on in 1977. The kitchen area on the other side of the windows here, that is our, what we call the 70s era kitchen. That was added on, and we became a nursing home and a home for the developmentally disabled. We ran as that until 1986, when the building was shut down permanently. It was a clocked out, walked out situation. Residents were relocated. Their personal belongings, all that, went to other facilities. Say at 5 o'clock, staff clocked out, walked out, took their personal belongings, everything else was left behind. We did have a team of historians work tirelessly to try and get some of our history back. Because in 1986, when we were shut down, after that we sat empty for 20 years. So there was a lot of vandalism in the building, a lot of graffiti, almost every exterior window was broken out. So a lot of exposure to elements, everything. This building was in pretty bad shape. The building, like I said, was in bad shape. Some of these hallways we're going to be able to walk through tonight. First weekend I was down here to help Robin, you had to walk sideways down the hallways because of all the debris and stuff. Robin bought this place with a 5-year plan. It was just going to be him. We're going to fix the place up, him and his kids maybe, and maybe would have our first investigation in 2019. With the help of the paranormal community coming together as a family like we have for years, Robin bought the place, like I said, in May of 2014. September of 2014, we had our first investigation. In 5 months, we had this building ready to go in what Robin originally thought was going to take him 5 years. What you are standing in now was, during the poor farm, the women and children's dining room. Was mostly the women and children's side because the small room down at the far end there was the original Poor Farm kitchen. Like I said, this kitchen area was added on in the 70s. The other small room back behind us, that is a pantry storage area, always has been. Now these windows that you're seeing in the wall here, when Robin purchased the place, those were covered up with drywall. And Robin wanted to take it back as close to the Poor Farm era as he could. So we started pulling drywall down and discovered that the windows are original 1916 windows. That other side of that wall is the original exterior of the building. We do have some pictures upstairs that kind of shows like the aerial view of the Poor Farm, and you'll see that, you know, there wasn't a roofed area at one point. It was just an opening between the two porches. All right. As we walked across the hall, came into this room, you came into the men's dining room. This was the men's because of what's down in these two rooms. That is our boiler room, and then the room behind it is the maintenance workroom area. So it was the men's job to keep that boiler stocked with coal. It was a coal-fired burner, and then the round circle that you see on the one wall down there, that's an old water tank. So that's where the radiators come in. That's how we were heated, was radiant heat between the ceiling and the floors, all the way up through the building. So like I said, it was the men's job to keep that burner stoked with the coal, to keep the water warm and moving throughout the building.
Oh, it's the Groff. Hello, Manny Quinn.
Sometimes that's gonna.
Oh,
Mannequins always freak him out.
She still gets me, and I know she's there. I'll be busy doing my cleaning thing and come around the corner and go. But anyway, we're now on the second floor, and what you're seeing on the second floor, it's gonna look more of what we look like during a hospital. We've got our lovely hospital green on the walls. This was the nurse's station, and it was also the reception desk. So people would come in the front door, come up the stairs, register with the nurses, and they could see their loved ones. Another room I like to point out is the room here in the corner, kind of across from the nurse's station. It's the only private room in the psychiatric hospital. So there are some special people that were in that room, and we think it was just simply because they came from probably more of a affluent family in the area. The room to my left here, that was used as the activity room. So that's where everybody would come down, sit around, probably ladies did needlework, kids played games, any of that kind of stuff. To give you an idea of the size of the patient rooms, because a lot of our walls were knocked down and stuff during remodeling and haunted attraction time. This is about the size of the actual patient rooms, both during Poor Farm and hospital era. During the Poor Farm, there was a gentleman that lived on the property with his family. So he was the overseer, the superintendent of the Poor Farm. So he and his family lived on the property, and their actual living suite was up on the third floor of the building. But instead of us losing half of the third floor to kind of recreate that, Robin just decided to take a couple rooms down here and just kind of set it up. We've got a bed back here in the corner, some mid-century furniture and stuff to kind of give you the time frame. And then we get down, once we get past this corner, you're more or less in the new part of the building that was added on in the 70s. So those rooms were set up like nursing homes nowadays. You had Jack and Jill bathroom in the middle, patient rooms on either side. Now this floor, and it would have been the same on this side. On this floor, we did take part of the wall down, put up some more support, and this is where we gather when we have para-celebrities that come in to investigate with. We gather, question, answer, and then a lot of times just do an investigation with them. I do like to point out on this one, On that side, those 5 lists that are there, those are actually census lists of people that were in the building. So as you're getting names throughout the night, I do like to refer you to those to possibly double check. This room is a pretty special room for us. Sadly, last year in August, one of our tour guides was tragically killed in a car accident. And she has been with this building since before Robin owned it, during the haunt and stuff too, but we have turned this into her memorial room, so there's pictures of her in there, there's little stuff people have left on her table, and the only thing we ask is there is a very dim light that is in her room. That is her eternal light, so we do ask that you don't turn that light off. Before farm, we did have our own cemetery. Of course, it was on our property, but after the poor farm was shut down, the land was sold off, and it was actually on private property now. And Mr. Farmer does not like to welcome us onto his property. So we do know there's over 160 graves in that cemetery. Sadly, about 10 to 15 years ago, one of our historians, Julie, got herself onto the property. She worked with the Coles County Sheriff's Department. Got herself onto the property and got pictures of some of the headstones. Sadly, this is all she could find, and like I said, we do know that there's 160 over there. So this is another place that I will refer people, if you get names throughout the night, maybe check out if any of those names go along with these guys. One more thing to point out. This is the only original piece of furniture from the hospital. It's an old hospital bed. Up until last year, you could actually still crank the head and the foot of it. It's a really great trigger object. The 3rd floor was where they kept the worst of the worst during the hospital era. So keep that in mind as you're up here. And another thing, for the most part, we were hospital. We were never an asylum. We didn't do the lobotomies. We didn't do hydrotherapy, anything like that. But towards the end of that era, they decided they were going to bring in one form of therapy and try it. It was electroshock. And it was done in the room where you two are standing. This was not one big room. You can see on the floor where the walls may have been. So this was again divided into 2 different rooms, and that room became the electroshock therapy room. And then the room across the hall, directly across the hall over there, kind of became like the observation, where you would put them and watch them to see if they were going to be okay, if they needed to stay in isolation or go back out in the general population. And then the room across the hall, directly across the hall over there, kind of became like the observation, where you would put them and watch them to see if they were going to be okay, if they needed to stay in isolation or go back out in the general population. Do not hesitate to go out and investigate the grounds, be it early in the morning, be it late at night. This place is active all times of day, all times of night. I have personally seen things outside and have actually went to call somebody, like, oh dang, somebody's on my property, call 911. Okay, that person's gone, never mind, I'm not gonna call 911 and look like a fool. So, but yeah, keep that in mind.
I am going to move the cam that I have in here.
The camera just completely shut off. This has never happened before.
This one was off too.
Your camera was on?
It was off.
Off.
Yeah, when we came
stupid noise. But I don't.
They must be enjoying turning our cameras off.
Yeah, mine just stopped in the middle of recording. Just completely shut right off.
Oh, that's so weird. All right, so
I guess we start up here? Or is this third floor?
Second.
this is the second floor.
Okay.
Right, yeah. Hold on, let me position this somewhere else.
Ashmore Estates, second floor, some kind of background.
Do you know how the DR60 works?
I think he should. Oh, wait.
You gotta be quiet, so.
You have to
Oh,
be
yeah, yeah.
completely
Yeah,
quiet.
okay,
You ask
yeah,
a
yeah.
question, wait a while, and he'll cue you when to ask another question.
Okay.
Is there any spirits here with us that would like to communicate? Can you please tell me what your name is?
Do you know that you're dead? Can you show us that you're here by repeating somebody's name into the device that he has over there?
Please tell me what your name is.
What was that?
Mm-hmm.
Please tell me what your name is.
Is that John? Does it say John?
Okay.
Please tell me what your name is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says John.
Do you know that you're dead? Yeah,
So is it yes, I know?
I think so. Do you know that you're dead?
Yep, yes,
Yeah.
I know.
Do you know that you're dead?
That's crazy. That is really good.
Oh, there's a sentence.
Yeah, I just can't figure out what it's saying. Is it Amber?
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh my gosh, that is so exciting. It's Amber. Yep. That's so crazy.
Now you know why these things are.
Those are really nice.
Yeah.
I need one.
Yeah. Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah.
They're price gouging this
Yeah,
shit out of
I bet.
on Amazon, on eBay.
That's so cool because I always hear my name repeated on like Spirit Box, and then I think maybe it's just me like just thinking that I'm hearing it like some sort of.
We've heard our full names. We'll
Nice.
say Rebecca or Douglas. They make it known. They say your whole name.
All right,
So-
let's dig out that theme of everything you got.
APF process.
Yeah. Oh, can I just show the piece what it looks like real quick? So we're bringing this out. Do you want to explain how it works just a little bit?
It's basically it's a prototype. This is the 1.0 version from DAS. Basically, it records the Spirit Box session with 10, 20, 30 second rewind. It slow down the response, add filters. You'll see.
Yeah, all sorts of cool stuff.
Now, do you want to ask the questions?
Dude, should I? Yeah. Because it was my name that came through, so I'm thinking. John, do you want to come talk to us?
Replay.
They're filming. Yeah, that was a female.
And then slow it down. Add filter. They're
They're
filming.
filming, yep. Maybe I'm not as bad at Spirit Box as I thought I was.
Definitely intelligent.
Yes.
John, do you want to come talk to us? We were able to hear your voice. Ooh, what was that?
Go back. Slow it down. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Okay.
That sounds like the John voice, too.
Yeah. Definitely a male deep
Yeah.
voice.
We're just trying to communicate with you. Is there anything that you need?
Always happens.
Yeah. Do you need a nurse?
Yo.
What was that, you do?
Oh, that was
You
yeah.
do.
I'm John. I'm John something. Please. Would you? Warned you? Would you?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he warned you.
What are you warning us of? Pain?
Yeah.
Warning us of pain? Are you gonna cause physical harm to us? I swore I saw a little white light, very faint, right here.
Oh, I don't have anything in my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you from Buffalo, New York? All right, take care. Have a good night.
Yeah, I think they've cleared out of this room.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it did when we walked
It's
in.
not as heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That was crazy though. That was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And how clear
The responses.
the responses were.
Yeah.
Right. And it was just so like heavy in tone with
Mhm.
with like its voice.
Yeah, it's a.
And definitely you
Gary,
can tell
yeah.
So I only think.
with the DR60, which is nice.
Yeah.
You can definitely, when they're really present, they're sometimes can be very clear and sometimes very loud, and sometimes they can even sound like they're screaming at
Yeah, they
you.
have it like the EVP that it has the definition and the tone.
Right.
And I think that's so interesting.
Should we try it again with the DR60?
Oh, we can. I don't know
Or
if
do
we're
you
gonna
want
get
to-
anything.
or
I think we should
I
try
think we
to
should
move to another room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we should move on because I think they're done.
Yeah.
What room was this one?
Second floor, Ashmore Estates.
Is there anybody here that wants to come talk to us? Did somebody die from falling here? John said he knew that he was dead. Do you know how he died? Do you know what year it is?
Yeah, I heard noise over there.
Yeah.
Noise back there, over here. Very faintly, but.
That's why I like to, like, when you're asking questions, I kind of close my eyes and just like tune everything out, just so I can hear if like there's any bit of noise somewhere. It's kind of cool because it's kind of like you put yourself in another room.
Right.
All right, so let's play it back. Ashmore Estates. Is there anybody here that wants to come talk to us? Wow.
What was that?
Is
Wait.
that you making noise over there? Is there anybody here that wants to come talk to us?
That is like
Ashmore Estates.
yelling.
Is there anybody here that wants to come talk to us?
Is it even saying anything, or is it
I
just?
think it's saying something from you. You want to come? Is there anybody here that wants to come talk to us? Something you. Is that you? Ashmore Estates. Is there anybody here that wants to come talk to us? Did somebody die from falling here? Sounds like to you that he was dead. Do you know how he died? Do you know what year it is? Do you have
Oh, it's at 19 something.
Did it?
Yes.
Do you know what year it is? Do you have
Is it 19?
I think it's for 1950.
Do
you know what year it is?
58, 58.
Do you know what year it is?
Yeah, 1958.
Wow.
Ooh, was that a fuck you?
Do you have any friends that you want somebody to talk to us?
Here. Hold on, I'm rewinding.
Do you have any friends that you want somebody to talk to us?
Is it come here or I did?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
What year is it for you? Did you hear that?
Yeah, it sounded like a little moan.
Was it through here?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was. Okay.
Hello, is there anybody here with us? They're not talking in here.
No.
If it's in the other room on the other side, it was like,
How many spirits are in this room with us?
Now,
We're here so you can communicate.
Where do you want us to go?
downstairs. Yep. What's downstairs?
I think we should go upstairs.
Yeah.
I feel like they only said downstairs to just get us away.
Yeah. Third floor, Ashmore Estates. Hello, is there anybody here who would like to talk to us tonight?
Do you know what year you were born in? Did you die here?
I'm awfully tired. Can I share this bed? It looks quite comfortable.
It's a scream.
What is it?
But it's
Where's my phone? It almost sounds like a cat or something, like a cat or something. That's weird.
replaying it. Say something there.
We made it?
Hello?
That was a
That was weird.
female.
Somebody touched me? Are you okay? You need any help?
Is that hello?
Yeah. Hello? There, hi. Hi. What's your name? I'm Doug. Is neighbor Becky?
Was that a whistle? Yep.
You come in here and talk to us. We're not going to hurt you. We just want to ask you a few simple questions. Hey.
Is it you're ready?
same voice.
Say stop.
They're not going to talk to us, turn the device off. Yeah, I heard that. Please stay.
Yeah.
Please stay.
Yep.
Okay, we'll stay. Do you like our company? You like being around us?
Is it let's stay this time?
I think so. Alright, I'm going to turn this device off. Can you come in here and say bye to us?
Hannah Marie, how did you die? Hannah, how old are you? Hannah, did you like working for Ashmore Estates?
The fuck was that?
That was really loud.
That sounded like it was down on the ground floor. Ooh, I just get chills, listen. What the fuck was that? I'm gonna try something.
Okay.
Hello, is anybody down there?
Who's in here? Wow.
What?
I just caught a light anomaly at the end of the hall.
Oh,
Moving from right to left.
that's so cool.
Holy shit. I see you. Could you come down here? There it is.
I see you. He likes to provoke them.
Holy shit. Yeah, it moved from left to right. Or right to left, sorry.
Should we go down that way?
I would say so.
Okay.
I just saw something coming out of this room, walk across the hall. Was that you?
just heard something.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you hear?
Downstairs. Stuff moving. Anybody in here with us?
Whoa.
Did you hear that?
I heard a scream.
Yeah, it was like a scream or like a really high-pitched whistle.
I heard that too. Are you trying to get our attention? Because you do have our attention now.